everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bethany if you're new here, and I am a mom of 3. I currently make motherhood and lifestyle videos here on my channel, and I just recently had a little boy. He is now 3 months old, and I also have 2 older children. And so in today's video, I'm gonna compile all of my momming experience, and I'm gonna be sharing with you guys baby products that I have never ever owned as a mom, and baby products that I actually regret buying. So I'm excited to share this list with you because I know that when I was a first-time mom, I had no idea what I was gonna need and when I was gonna need it. And I just, bought stuff thinking that I would need it, and you kind of just figure out what works best for you. So just a disclaimer going into this video, these are things that I personally have found to not be super necessary, or things that I truly just regret buying as a mom. So the first list that I'm gonna get into right now is products that I actually don't own and never have owned since I've become a mom. Okay, so the first item on my list is the Snoo bassinet. So I have seen how this bassinet has been super trendy, and I find amongst like the mom community, and a lot of people swear by it. They think it's amazing. And I personally think it's a very expensive, unnecessary item. Just because you can find bassinets for, basically that are used, that will have your baby sleep safely, and they will cost you like 40 bucks. I basically got both of the places that my baby has slept this time around for like 20 bucks and 40 bucks on Facebook Marketplace. And they're totally safe for baby. And I also actually used a pack and play for my 2 older children when they were newborns, and I just put that beside the bed and it worked great. So you really don't need a super expensive bassinet to have your baby sleep in. Some people swear by them, and it's amazing, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure it is. But if you are not willing or able to fork out $1,500 for a bassinet, don't worry, baby will sleep just fine in something much, much cheaper. Okay, another thing on my list that I have never bought is a wipe warmer. So I've actually said in a previous video, like, oh, this might be a good idea. Babies really don't mind, and they don't know any different. It might be a little bit cold to touch, but at the same time, it's really not a necessary product. You can definitely save yourself about 30 bucks if you don't get one. Another thing that I have never bought is a diaper genie. I find that a garbage can with a lid is just as good, and basically we have never had any smell issues by putting our diapers just in a garbage can. I find that the diaper genie fills, like the bag fills, and are just really expensive and like unnecessary. But if you find that it is great for you, that's awesome. But we've always just used a regular garbage can. One thing that I've never bought as a mom is a formula maker. Now I've seen these, and I think they are absolutely wonderful if you are a mom that formula feeds. But for myself, who is a exclusively breastfeeding mom, I have never used one of these. And so if you have used a formula maker for your baby, let me know how you liked it. I have no experience with them, but it's just something that I've never bought, but I've heard great things. So let me know down in the comments below if you've used one and if it's worked great for you. I'm sure some other moms who are formula feeding would love to know. But this is, again, something that I've never bought because I've always exclusively breastfed my babies, which I'm so thankful for. But again, it's just not something that I found necessary. Okay, another thing on my list I've never bought is a bassinet stroller. What is it called? Like the bassinet like click in that you get for your stroller. Like, I don't know how to describe that. Basically, I've never used one of these. I've always just used the seat that comes with the stroller, or I'll just click my car seat straight into the stroller, and I find that works great. I find it's just really almost an unnecessary add-on, but if you want to go ahead and purchase this, it's totally up to you. But if you want your baby to lay flat while they're in the stroller, or things like that, that's totally up to you. But for us, we just never found that it was something that we needed. Okay, now moving on to the products that I regret getting. So now that I've had 3 babies, I've been able to compile a list of all of the newborn items that I just really never used. I bought and just, they never worked out. So let's get started. So one thing that I regret having was an electric breast pump. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so I'm always around my babies, but if you're a working mom, this might not be the case for you. But if you're an exclusively pumping mom, then of course you're gonna want something that's a bit more practical than just say a hand pump or using a haka. But for me personally, I found that using a haka or a hand pump was much more practical. They're a lot more easier to bring with you if you need to leave the house, things like that. I actually had someone let me borrow an electric pump when I had Brielle. And to be honest with you, I probably only used it a handful of times throughout all of my babies being newborns and just, you know, needing to pump. I would honestly always use my hand pump so much more than the electric one. So I highly recommend, if you have a friend or a family member or someone that you know that has an electric pump that you can try out before you go and buy one, that would be huge because they are expensive. And for you to buy one and then not able to return it or to sell it to someone else, because it's really hard to do that sometimes, I highly recommend borrowing one first and trying it out to see if you like it, because again, it can be really expensive and you might not know if it works for you. Another thing that I regret buying is having way too many bottles, like so many bottles. Like I probably have like 15 or 16 bottles and I hardly use any of them. So if you know anyone who needs bottles, I can hook you up because I have only used one this entire 3 months that Carter's been born. We haven't really used them at all, basically. I recommend that if you are thinking about buying bottles, buy them after baby is here when you need them. And if you, again, breastfeeding isn't working out or things like that, then you kind of know after when baby's here what you need and when you need it, instead of buying a whole bunch beforehand and then not really using any of them, like me. Another thing on my list is a baby bathtub. So I actually got one secondhand when I had Brielle, and it was totally fine. It was fine for bath time, but I found storing it was just a nightmare. It's such an awkward shape and size, and it's hard to find a place to actually put it that works, especially if you're living in a smaller home. It kind of takes up a lot of room. But we honestly have never used one since having Brielle. I actually gave it away when we moved and when she was a baby. I just didn't think I needed to use one anymore. And basically what we do is I just lay down like a towel in the bathtub, and I fill the bathtub with about 1 inch of warm water, and I will actually just lay my babies in the bathtub on the towel, and I just wrap them up in a swaddle and just get it all wet. And so you can just pour warm water on them and it works great. And I've honestly never looked back on getting a baby bathtub, and I don't think I ever will get one again. Okay, another thing I regret getting is a big diaper bag. So I have a diaper bag that I honestly never use. I only use it for maybe trips for packing baby's bag, but on a daily basis, I really don't use a big diaper bag. I actually use a backpack, and this is actually a little bit larger than I would like. But it's great though, because a backpack is way more practical than a huge diaper bag, especially one that kind of goes over your shoulder. I found a regular backpack works just as good, and you don't have to break the bank in buying something super expensive. I really love mine. I think it's really cute and fashionable, but you can just find any regular backpack and use that, and it will work great. Okay, another thing is baby mittens. I bought baby mittens for Brielle, and I use them a lot with her, but for Kellen and Carter, I just really never use them. I just made sure to clip baby's nails often because they grow so fast. But I also bought a lot of sleepers and onesies that have kind of the built-in mittens. So you really don't need to buy the extra baby mittens if you don't want to. And it's just something you don't really need to spend your money on. But that's just me personally. If you like baby mittens, that's good for you. But I actually bought some for Carter, and I didn't put them on him once. Okay, so another thing on my list is a Mamaroo. So again, I actually borrowed one with my daughter, and she really liked it. She really enjoyed it, but I never actually bought it. And so I actually was able to give it back to my friend who let me borrow it, just because, again, it's an expensive item and you're not really sure if your baby's gonna like it or not. So highly recommend borrowing something from a friend or trying it out before you actually buy it. It can save you a lot of money down the road, and then you're not worried about losing any money if you try to resell something. But I found I never actually used the Mamaroo for my son or my youngest son either. And so you really don't need such an expensive item to soothe the baby. But if that's something you're looking into, like I said, you can totally get a friend to let you borrow one of theirs. One thing that I actually bought for Carter this time was the Hello Bello diapers. So I love Hello Bello products, and I was like, okay, I need some newborn diapers, and I decided to go with the Hello Bello ones. And to be honest with you, I really didn't like them. I found that they didn't hold a lot of pee, and I just had a lot of leaks with Carter with them. They just didn't hold a lot, and I found them not as like solid. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but he had a lot of like pee accidents when he was wearing them, which is crazy because he's a newborn. And I know with boys, they can leak a lot more than girls can, but I just found them not really good quality diapers. The diapers that I found work really, really well is the Kirkland diapers from Costco. Once I started using them a long time ago with Kellen, I've never looked back, and I've used them since. Since Carter's been out of newborn diapers, and he's into size 1s, I've just bought the Kirkland diapers, and he honestly will only blow out until he needs to go up to the next size. And so he's only had one poop blowout, like ever, which is crazy. But yeah, Hello Bello diapers, I just find that they just don't hold a lot and they leak a lot more. Okay, another thing on my list is a pee-pee teepee. So if you have little boys or expecting little boy, you might have heard of these. And basically it's like this little shield you put on top of their penis to make sure that they don't pee on you when you're changing their diaper. And to be honest with you, I tried these with Kellen and they were just totally obsolete. Like they didn't stay on, and it just was just like getting in the way. And to be honest with you, like I think I've only gotten peed on like maybe once or twice. Honestly, the PPTVs are just not worth it. You just clean their bum and like do it as fast as you can, and just make sure that there's a diaper there so that there's no accidents. But overall, I just really found that they just didn't really work very well. So another thing on my list is water wipes. I found that I got one of these. I think it was in a sampler, so I didn't actually buy this, but to be honest with you, I've used one wipe to get some boogers off his face because I couldn't find the baby wipes. And that's the only thing I've used these for. Other than that, I'll just use a wet cloth to wipe him instead of using these wipes. I just found that they're completely unnecessary and you really don't need them. Okay, another thing on my list is the bibs soothers. So I think it may just be my babies, but they do not like them. They like a certain type of nipple on a pacifier and they will take nothing else. And so I was super looking forward to hopefully having Kellen, I always get their names mixed up. I was super excited to get Carter into these bib soothers, but he will just spit them right out. He does not like the nipple shape on these. I don't know what it is. He's just not into it, but that's okay. So I bought like a bunch of them thinking, oh, he's gonna love these. Don't buy a bunch of stuff before you know your baby likes it. I should know this already, right? But anyways, I did. I bought like 3 packs of these. Like, why did I do that? And he doesn't like them and they're completely unused. So if anyone wants these, they can have them because I will not use them, unfortunately. Okay, so the last thing on my list of products that I regret buying is a bunch of muslin swaddles. So I find that these are not great for swaddling unless you are wanting to like double swaddle your baby because they will break free. And I find that these are really good for summertime. They're really good for just out and about, to kind of tuck your baby into your car seat, but I don't find that they're the best for swaddling, if that makes sense. These are good for other purposes. Like, I don't say that they're completely just not like usable at all. I like them for summertime because they're a lighter blanket. I find that you really only need like 1 or 2 of these. You don't need a ton of the muslin swaddle. So if you're looking to get some of these, I highly look into getting a Velcro swaddle instead, which work really great. Basically, your baby will not break free from these unless they're really, really strong. And so I use these often with Carter, especially at nighttime, because he will not get out of them, and he will be a lot more secure and not wake up as much. So the Velcro swaddles are a yes. These ones for swaddling, not great. You can try them, but don't get too many of these. So anyways, that kind of wraps up this video on products that I don't own, never have owned, and products that I regret buying as a mom. But anyways, like I said, my list might be completely different than yours, and that's okay. The great thing about being a mom is that not everything works for everyone, and some things work great for some and not for others, and that's fine. So my biggest advice is find out what works best for you, and who cares about everyone else's opinion, basically, because you are the mom and you know what's best for your little one. So anyways, thank you guys again so much for watching this video, and we'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.